Good morning, all you lovely people, on this beautiful sunny morning. It's Antonette Clarke Akalanne again. I hope everyone is making the most of the enforced isolation to catch up on all the things that were neglected or forgotten. My first poem is one that I composed today in response to the coronavirus shutdown. It is called Don't Let Barriers Shackle You. Don't let coronavirus shutdown and isolation cause you depression or frustration. Use your restricted movements successfully to network with friends and family. Connect with those who are on their own by Skype, WhatsApp, Facebook, or telephone. Use this lockdown to do the things you like that you'd put on hold or out of sight. Read that book you'd planned on reading long ago, or do something you'd hoped to do before. Please meditate, exercise, and sing. Much satisfaction these little things will bring. Listen to the bird songs coming from the trees. All these things are free and cost no fees. Create a routine and stick to it, so when life returns to normal, you'll easily do it. Read that book you'd forgotten on the shelf. Do your hair, put on your makeup, and pamper yourself. Dress as if you were going on a special occasion, a holiday, or a vacation. These things will lift your mood and give your emotions positive food. Deep breathing exercises are a lot of fun, and mindfulness you can do. Enjoy the little things in life, like grass, flowers, butterflies, bees, and birds too. Try to learn or do something positive each day. Be happy, enjoy, and live, I say. Some of you may have heard that I fell down the stairs and injured my right leg in January this year. I'm still recovering. This poem tells about that incident. It's called The Fall. 5:30 at dawn, on a pleasant wintry morn, I tumbled down the stairs in a fall and jammed my right foot against the wall. I looked in disbelief, with shock and with grief, to see my knee and hip contorted and twisted as down the stairs I descended. The pain was agonizing, terribly excruciating. When the fall had arrested, in shock I sat and rested, while waves of nausea on me descended. With spiraling dizziness they transcended, and thoughts raced through my head with photographic speed. I summoned a local taxi, and the driver came for me. He was a young Somali who assisted me to casualty. His name was Yesu. Yesu, I bless you and dedicate this poem to you. Nurse Webster in casualty at BRI saw me. She was kind and empathetic, understanding and sympathetic, non-judgmental in approach, accepting and without reproach. She left no stone unturned to investigate my condition and see I had the right prescription specific to my injurious position. Nurse Webster, I commend you for all that you did and still do. This poem is also dedicated to you. My mobility is limited and the pain is inhibited. With strong medication, I mobilize with a metal frame, a leg brace and a crutch. I use a wheelchair, but not very much. My disability will not trap me, as I'll use my resilience and tenacity to face this adversity and utilize this experience for the betterment of me. This injury has demonstrated who displays true brotherly love and highlights the far weather friends that I should not behold. This next poem was written when I was 8 years old. It illustrates the beauty of nature and the little things that children see but grown-ups sometimes miss. It is called The Poultry. Mama kept fowl in her backyard. These were cocks, hens, and chickens too. They were not kept for pleasure or status nor leisure, but for Sunday dinner. I got to know them all and gave them names. There were Speckled Henny Penny, Rhode Island Red Jenny, Mimi the Bantam, and Birdie too. The cock was Doodledoo. He knew his name. He is feisty and arrogant and not at all tame, but he takes to me because I feed him separately. I scatter bird seed on the ground, and the fowl will scramble all around. But I taught Doodle-Doo to follow me instead, where I kept the lion's share of feed near a rocky bed. Doodle-Doo is red and gold and is strong and bold. He rules his harem like a king would do. Each morning he stretches his neck and crow, and he says, Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, and you know it was for the hens. They had a pattern. When eggs they laid, they would flap their wings and cackle, as if to say, I've achieved something today. They would sit on their eggs about a week later, and hardly leave their clutter. When Birdie sat upon her eggs, I'd feed her corn and oat. I saw her carefully turn each egg from bottom to the top. I counted the days that she sat upon the nest. It was 14 days she sat on her eggs and rest. Then, with astonishment, I saw her turn an egg and peck, and out popped a little yellow beak. I called to my sister to come and see, but she told Mama that I was naughty, that I was worrying the poultry. So I did not report another discovery. But now I know that chickens hatch at 14 days and ducks at 21. I feel proud that I have learned the cycle of the hen and want to explore much more when when I grow up and be an adult then. Now this other poem was written when I was 11 years old. It shows a child's curiosity. It's called The Pink Cuckoo Clock. Uncle Cecil sent us a pink cuckoo clock that hung on the drawing-room wall. Its pendulum swung to and fro, and every hour it said, "Cuckoo." My curiosity got the better of me, so I climbed upon a chair and nearly did fall as I took the clock from off the drawing-room wall. I opened its back and noted how things were. Then I investigated to find out more. As the screws and wheels came out, the spiral spring flew out and hit me in the eye. But I did not cry. I try hard to remember how the clock was put together. I put everything back and winded it up, but it didn't tick-tock. I wound again as tight as can be, but all I heard was a whirring like a bee. The clock did not coo, nor the pendulum swing. It seemed like if I had damaged the thing. It did not work at all, but I hung it on the wall and hoped for the best. I would leave you to wonder what happened to me when Mother found out the cuckoo's clock calamity. The next poem is called The Windrush Generation and the Hostile Environment Bill. I started its composition in May 2018 in honor of the many Windrush people that experienced hardships when that bill was enforced. I update it regularly to reflect current changes, so it is a living poem. It's called The Windrush Generation and the Hostile Environment Bill. Let's look back in history to find the origins of the Windrush mystery. 376 years ago, women, children, and men of African origin were captured and enslaved to work in the Caribbean. These slaves became British West Indian citizens who laboured for the British plantocracy in their thousands. They tilled the earth, forked, spaded and hoed, harvesting cocoa, coffee, tobacco and producing sugar, which was called white gold, that enriched Britain's economy more than 100-fold, financing her commercial and industrial revolution while strengthening and expanding her capitalism. West Indians served in the two great wars, soldiering on with patriotism, pride and deep loyalty to fight and to die for Britain, their mother country. Now, fast forward 71 years ago, they were called to Britain to serve again to fill job vacancies created by World War II, which many local people deemed undesirable to do. With no hesitation, the migrants came to serve their king and country. They came to the motherland that they adored, a land of hope and bounty. The ship, Windrush Empire, brought the first 492 in the year 1948, Tuesday, June 22. They fill job vacancies like public transport, National Health Service and British Rail, despite having their social and cultural lives curtailed by prejudice, racism, discrimination, hostility and attacks like the 1958 and 1959 assaults in Notting Hill by white youths on blacks, and bullied by teddy boys and barred from private houses and flats with signs which read "No Irish, no dogs, no blacks." And the 1962 Immigration Act, designed to close British doors, barring entry to coloureds from Britain's shores, plus an election campaign slogan of 1964 that read, "If you want a nigger for a neighbour, vote Labour." And Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood prophecy of 1968 that hasn't materialised up to today's date. The Windrush migrants never questioned their residential state because they believed their statuses were up to date. These beliefs were reinforced by the Immigration Act 1971 that conferred indefinite leave of stay to them, each and every one. These contributions and jobs these loyal citizens maintained helped to build a global and modern Britain. Theresa May's Hostile Environment Bill of 2013 aimed to reduce net migration to tens of thousands. This was the dream. It made life in Britain difficult for those without correct documentation and caused many Windrush migrants hardships beyond expectation, because some had lost their original passports and or documentation. And to crown it all, in 2009, by Home Office instruction, their landing cards and records went to destruction. This resulted in many of them being declared illegal immigrants, despite paying their taxes and national insurances. Some had their driving licenses revoked, others were sacked from their jobs and left destitute and broke. Some were evicted from home and left on the streets to rough sleep and to roam. Bank accounts were frozen and salaries denied. From these experiences, some tragically died. All because of the Hostile Environment Bill that psychologically maims and sometimes physically kills. Some Windrush migrants were deported. Others were denied re-entry to Britain when at the airports they reported. Some people's pensions were stopped and others had healthcare suspended or completely dropped. Some families were split and separated. Some individuals were incarcerated or repatriated. The traumas of the Hostile Environment Bill are too numerous to mention here, but some include despair, depression, dread, and fear. Suffice it to say, some experienced extreme calamity, deep mental scars, and total disharmony. Thanks to some MPs, the Windrush scandal has now abated, and by December 2018 more than 3,000 Windrush migrants had their British citizenships reinstated. Windrush experiences are not all doom and gloom. There are lots of successful stories with glitter and boom. But I'll recite these on another occasion because it's time for me to leave this podium. But before I take my exit, I wonder what's next now that we have Brexit. Well, thank you all for listening. I'll be back again tomorrow with more poems. Have a wonderful day. Bye.